Hello, welcome back to today's video. Going to have a look at the weather next week, 10 days. First in today's video, we're going to have a look at CFS V2 for the next month. We didn't look at CFS V2 on Friday. We did JMA Friday. We normally include the CFS in that. But it hadn't updated for a few days. It has updated now, and I'll show you the latest update from the CFS V2 for the next month, which takes us well into October. We're going to middle and even in the second half of October with this update. Before I get on with that, just to say about the ads, there's links to articles on all the pages. Have a browse widgets, click through the links. If there's any articles that you're interested in, you'll be helping us to pay for the website. Thanks very much for doing that. There's also video ads, most pages. They own no content. When you watch them, close back up again. It does help to pay the gas bids. So we're starting off with central temperature. Looked at this yesterday. Was above 17 Celsius still yesterday, but after a cool day yesterday, very cool for Midlands and quite wet, we've fallen under 17 degrees. So now we currently provisionally stand at 16.9 and normally 3 degrees above average. So August has reclaimed its top spot for this year as the warmest month of the year. And this temperature will continue to reduce. I said yesterday we've got to beat 16.8 to get the warmest September on record. And I don't think there's any chance of doing that. We're going to be, by tomorrow, I think we'll be at 16.8 and will gradually decline away through the remainder of the month. I think we're going to finish somewhere in the 15s. So it is going to be a significantly warmer than average September, no doubt about that, but not a record breaker. These are the GFS temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. The red line here is the 30-year temperature average. It looks like we're going increasingly towards, but maybe signs of zonality as well. So at the moment, we are around the 30-year temperature average, which by day means that it's going to be pleasantly warm because it's still September, so it's not going to be cold by day. By night, where skies are clear, it will be cooler than we've been used to with temperatures going into single digits on many nights, I think, over the coming few nights. So over the weekend, we do get a bit of a tick up in the temperature on Saturday as an area of low pressure brings a warm sector across the country and produces outbreaks of rain. Once that clears through, though, we go cooler. And then the temperature lifts up again early next week, and then it drops down again. So definitely signs that we've got an up and down movement of the air masses over the coming few days. So warmer sector there, cooler sector there, warmer sector there, and cooler sector there. Possibly a bit of a warmer sector there as well. So this is definitely signs that the Atlantic is increasing its strength. I talked about this yesterday, but jet stream looks like it's powering up, and it's going to bring us an increasingly zonal spell of weather, I think, with bands of rain. Particularly effective in north and west, less so to the south and the east, and warmer and cooler sectors of air alternating. For precipitation, fairly dry weather coming up for the remainder of this week, but as we get through to weekend, got quite a big rainfall spike there. It looks like it can turn very wet in the northwest on Saturday, and then that spreads south and eastward Saturday night into Sunday. Next week, more precipitation spikes coming up with this what looks like fairly zonal spell of weather. So I think we are seeing increasing signs here that we're moving towards autumnal conditions. It won't be a complete washout, though. There will be days of high pressure ridging in from the Azores. The Azores high is not going away completely yet. And in fact, as we get through towards the end of September, it may start to build again and into October. I'll show you the charts in a second. So this is the GFS for Saturday. Wet and windy up in the north and west on Saturday. For south and east, probably stays dry. As we go through into Sunday, this is 6 o'clock in the morning on Sunday, where low pressure is pushing down across the country. It's an active weather front with that, bringing quite a lot of heavy rain. There's the rain on Saturday in the north and west. Some of it is heavy and persistent as well, especially to the north and west. And then it spreads eastwards overnight Saturday into Sunday. This is 6 o'clock in the morning on Sunday, where it does look quite wet across much of the country. Into Monday, that low pressure is still hanging around, producing a cooler northwesterly flow with sunshine and showers in the north. Then we get a little bit of a ridge here through into Tuesday. This looks quite transient, but probably settle things down a bit on Tuesday next week. And then the next area of low pressure comes in from the northwest again, probably bringing quite wet weather to the north and west, particularly fairly tight packed ice bars, so probably turning windy for the middle part of next week. That gets out of the way on Thursday, here comes the next little build of high pressure from the Azores. And then that perhaps gets a little bit more definitive in the south on Friday. That's Friday 30th of September. Not sure about that. It might be a bit overdone. But maybe more definitive build from the Azores as get through to the very end of September and start of October. The ECM is very similar, so here we go on Saturday when it looks wet and windy in the north and west, but south and east probably mainly dry on Saturday. That rain spread south and eastwards overnight Saturday into Sunday, producing quite a band of heavy rain through the country. By Monday, a little bit of a ridge coming into the south, but low pressure is up to the north, so showers along the spells of rain to the north, dry-ish down to the south. The next low pressure comes through on Tuesday, probably producing more cloud and outbreaks of rain, especially to the north and west. That one gets out of the way on Wednesday, leaving us in a showery and fairly cool air mass for Wednesday next week. Quite an intense storm there to the north of Scotland on Thursday, really tight packed isobars. That could bring severe gales to northern parts of the country. Not as bad in the south, we're closer to this ridge from the Azores high. Oops, sorry about that. And then we go through into Friday, where that quite deep storm system is moving into Scandinavia, and the winds turning to the north or the northwest. That looks quite cool as we go through to the final day of September. There's the upper air temperatures. We end September, very warm September overall, but we end it on a really quite cool note, especially for the northern part of the country. So, of course, at that point, the GFS is building high pressure from the Azores across southern parts of the country. The ECM says no to that idea, has the ridge actually out in the Atlantic. It might topple in, though, in the days afterwards through the first few days of October. Definitely looks a more changeable sort of final 10 days to September, much more changeable than we've been used to, and that will lower the temperatures over the coming week to 10 days overall as well. There could be some warmer days, of course, and warmer nights, but overall temperatures will be lowering now through to month's end. Finally, having a look at the charts from CFS V2 for the next month. So these are 500 heights broken down into weekly periods. The first week period takes us from the week we're just starting with 20th of September through 26th. We've got a ridge up to the north and the northeast over Scandinavia. Low pressure is out to the west, and of course the jet stream is coming through like that. So this is a more changeable week. Just looked at the charts, of course, to see what's ahead for this week. It's a more changeable week. The Azores high is down to the southwest. It will, for southern parts of the country, extend a ridge up at times, but overall more unsettled and changeable for the coming week. We go through to week 2, which is the 27th of September through to 3rd of October. It looks very westerly, low pressure up to the north, high pressure down to the south, bring the jet stream through the country like that. Particularly unsettled up to the northwest, with driest conditions would be in the south. Week 3, which is before through the 10th of October, also looking quite unsettled, with low pressure out to the west, high pressure again around Spain and the Azores, and the flow is going like that. Again, quite a bit of pressure up to the northeast of Scandinavia, quite interestingly. And then finally, week 4, looking like this. Bit of a change here for the second week of October. This is the 11th through to the 17th of October, where we get above average heights building around and to the east of the UK. Low pressure becoming stuck in the Atlantic. The flow's going like that. And this bringing in a lot of easterly, southeasterly influences. Now, of course, it's middle of October by this point, so it would be turning colder at night with high pressure centred over Scandinavia. We'll be having to think about misty, foggy nights, I would have thought, by this point. By day, it could still be pleasantly warm with the wind coming from the southeast. Really depends how much cool air is coming around the back of the high down here, and of course how much of that we tap into. If we get a direct easterly, then we'll start to drag quite cool air actually from Eastern Europe and Western Russia. So it certainly looks anticyclonic there for mid-October, but quite whether it would be warm or cool, I'm not sure. Maybe a mixture of both, cool by night, warmish by day. Temperature anomalies for the coming week, generally a bit above average, so still holding up just about. Week 2 also looking warmer than average. So despite the changeable weather, the temperatures are still holding up, just less so than they have been through the first half of September, as less so than they were through the first half of September. Week 3 is about average, really, with the temperatures, so a slightly cooler week there. And then week 4, as that pressure builds over into the east of the UK, it is showing the temperature anomalies going above average. But keep in mind, could be cool, misty nights with that. Precipitation, so the coming week is wetter than average in the north and west, near normal elsewhere. Week 2, 27th of September through to the start of October, that one looks quite wet, particularly for the northern part of the country. Week 3, losing the signal now, as we always do for weeks 3 and 4, but the signal there is near normal. I think that will still be quite a changeable week. And then week 4, this is where high pressure is around to the east of the UK. You would have thought it would be drier. It doesn't show that, just shows average again. So it loses the signal through those week 3 and week 4 anomalies for precipitation. That's often the case. I think week 3 will probably be quite wet. Week 4 would be pretty dry. So, well, that's how it's looking for the extended range. That's all highly experimental stuff, of course. But the shorter range over the next week to 10 days, we're looking at a more changeable end September. I talked about this yesterday. We're going into a more Atlantic-driven period for the final 10 days of September. Temperatures up and down with the warmer sectors and the cooler sectors. There will be rain at times as well, particularly so for the north and for the western part of the country. But not a complete washout, especially in the southeast. I think there will be some significant periods of quite dry weather coming up. Right, that's all for now. Thanks for watching.